Hello everyone, this is Eric Law with Lilleys Landing Resort and Marina off of Lake Taneycomo. Today doing one cast. I'm actually floating down by 65 Bridge here. They just amped up the water. It's about 3 generators running today, so pretty good amount. It's a bit hot one, so I'm going to probably keep it pretty short. I am going to be throwing just a black and olive, probably about a 3/32 size jig there. See what happens underneath these bridges where there's some shade. I'm just going to try to throw it out here in the middle. We got a couple kayakers above from me. It's July 1st, 2026, just in case you're curious what the date was. And I'm going to go ahead and do this with my first cast, just kind of see what happens here. Get on the trolley motor here. I've heard there's been some big fish caught down here. Not necessarily where the bridges are, but just down by the landing. So just trying to get some of the area. It's kind of nice having that shade. So it's a bit warm today. We're in kind of a heat wave right now. We got heat indexes that are in the 100-degree temperatures. I think today they were saying the heat index was about 101. And I know with that type of temperature, it's easy to probably for the camera to shut off. So probably really important to keep the video short so it doesn't shut off on me. Just trying to give these kayakers some room over here. You know, I don't normally fish too much by the landing, but what I figured I'd try to do is come up out by 65 Bridge, and the railroad bridge is not far behind me. I don't normally fish too deep of water, so yeah. Well, nothing on that first cast, guys. I'm gonna try to get over some for these kayakers. Need some room for them. Kind of get out in the middle here where there's some pretty swift water. There we go. I figured try to keep this video short, just kind of see what's happening down by the bridges today. Like I said, I could try fishing this color here for a little bit, and then I've also got same size 3/32. I got a sculpin with ginger. Of course, the ginger is also orange head. So, but just trying to see what happens in these deeper waters. I'm not used to fishing these deeper waters. I don't do it often enough, so I figured this is also kind of something to try while I'm down here. There's lots of spots to go that you just know fish are teeming with life, but all fish are going to be in all different areas of the lake. And when you guys are coming down to Taneycomo, it's just good to kind of give you a forecast on all areas of the water. I think it's very important that we go to different locations to let you know there are fish all along Taneycomo. But you got to fish them a little differently depending on how deep the water is, and trying to get used to the different depth and just kind of finding where those pockets are. I mean, fish generally in this hot sun like this are going to be hanging out toward the bottom. They'll find deep pockets, they'll find shady spots. So I'm just trying to see if I can get out in the middle here and just kind of see if I can just catch maybe a fish using just a jig in these deeper waters. See if I can get some appeased here. See if I can even get a bite or a nibble. Like I said, that's what's tougher about deeper waters, is you just kind of have to rely that maybe they're down there, but it's just hard to tell unless you have a fish finder kind of right where they're sitting in these deeper waters. Well, the best thing you can kind of do is just kind of get down toward the bottom and, you know, keep an eye, you know, if you got some polarized sunglasses, keep an eye on if you see any fish kind of rising up from the bottom, or if you see any at a certain depth. Sometimes you can kind of tell where maybe their strike zone is going to be. Like I said, it's always difficult when you're fishing terrain that you're not used to. Alright, just because I tried that color, black and olive, gave it a few shots. I'll give it a couple more casts since this video. Like I said, I'm going to try to leave this video about 20 minutes, so let's give it another shot, see if we can get anything. Just trying to see if I can get this to bounce off the bottom at all. All right. I'm gonna tilt this just a little bit this way, guys, just so that way you can kind of see me a little bit out here fishing. It's actually a little breezy today. I noticed as I was driving down this way how breezy it is a little bit. The breeze is kind of blowing all different directions. I think I'm getting close to the bottom, which is good. Just trying to keep my boat kind of steady here. Figured what I'd kind of do is just run from 65 bridge down to the railroad bridge, which isn't much further. I figure that's going to be like my perfect 20-minute video. It's pretty much going from bridge to bridge with this many units of water running, and just see if we got any fish in between this gap. Like I said, some people have been catching today down by the landing, under these bridges. Sometimes you just got to be floating by at the right time, right place, right time, right depth. That's why I said you just got to get out and fish and see kind of where those strike zones are and what's working, what's not working. And of course, we're going to get some fun sounds here from the traffic and everything. Hoping I can at least get a bite. Like I said, I'm not familiar with this area, but we do have some docks over here too, so you know what? Let's give this color another shot, and we tried in the deep. Now let's try over by some of these docks over here. All right, here we go. Just want to make sure we can kind of see. I know during the tournament, there was quite a bit of fish kind of hanging out by the docks over here when I fished the tournament in the winter. So maybe, if we're lucky, maybe see if there's any fish maybe floating around here by these docks maybe. Change my orientation a little bit. There we go. Oh, looks like they're releasing some trout right now. It's probably not very often you guys get to see that on video. Give me just a second. I'm gonna try to avoid these wakes that this barge is making. There we go. All right. Now guys, I tried the black and olive. I'm just not really getting much of anything on there. So we're gonna try the other one, just so you guys can see. There's the barge right over there. Just passed. They're releasing some fish. So, but here we go. We're gonna, same thing. Here's your black and, or 3/32 ginger sculpin. We're gonna see if maybe this color might do anything. And I'm gonna throw out toward the middle again, so you guys have a chance to see if there's anything. And I'm gonna have to be careful of this railroad bridge, because these things, I've got a pillar coming right up behind me, so I'm just trying to get orientated here real quick. That way I don't hit it. About to hit Scotty's trout dock, so, or well, we're getting close to his area. We're right here by the railroad bridge, so. And again, if you guys are out fishing or coming out to Lilley's and forgot to grab your fishing gear, don't have a rod or rod or anything, and just want to fish and don't have money, maybe in the budget for buying a brand new set, I mean, you can always rent one of our rods and reels. This is one of ours. This actually has one of the President